Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's vlog is going to be a lot of bookish content, but some new things. I have purchased a new top-down tripod, so I'm excited to record some of my book journal updating, and hopefully you enjoy some of this new content, including some new stickers that I got to add to my water bottle, as well as just like reading and enjoying putting a new puzzle together. A lot of just kind of different activities that I enjoy doing while I'm reading and supporting local authors and bookstores and things like that. So come join me for this amazing vlog here in August, and so let's get started. Two of the things that I got from the Plan with Lincoln community party was this really cool sticker, done is better than perfect, and then a bookmark, small progress is still progress, which I'm really excited to add to my bookmark collection. Let's start off by reading the 10 minutes of nonfiction for this morning. I thought this bookmark was perfect for this goal. Small progress is still progress, and reading those 10 pages. So let's get started and let's use this new bookmark. So let's get started. So I am currently on chapter 9, Becoming an Intentional Spender. I am really enjoying this. So let's get reading. More than that, but that's okay. So we'll go ahead and stop here, and that is the 10 pages. So let's put in our new bookmark. Let's change it out. And so yeah, exciting. I'm going to add this sticker and one other one that I got from Chicago to my water bottle. So we did go to the paper and pencil store. I keep saying that wrong, which is really cute packaging and was sealed with a sticker. But one of the stickers that I got is this really neat one from Chicago. And then I got 2 postcards that I want to hang in my office at work, including this one of the storefront of paper and pencil, and then this really neat antique looking postcard with a theme, and it is of the bookend with a bunch of books, which I'm excited to keep decorating my office at work. Let's add the stickers to my water bottle. Here is my current water bottle. I currently have 2 stickers on it, one on each side, and this one says the girls will be girls, and it's like witches in holographic. And then these are different books that I read growing up, all dystopia, kind of sci-fi, fantasy books that I all enjoyed, and I read every single one of those, which is exciting. I have never seen a sticker with like books that I've actually read all of them, which is kind of cool. Usually they're like of classics or something like that that I've not read, so this is cool to see. All right, so let's go ahead and add in the actual adding of the stickers. So the first one I'm going to add is of this one of Chicago. So let's go ahead and do that. And the other one I'm adding, done is better than perfect. can see the new stickers. Update my book journal. I have one from Peanut Butter and Taco that I'm really loving. It's my first book journal I've ever had, and I've kind of fallen behind in keeping it up to date, but I think it'd be a really cool thing to have for record for the full year of the books that I have read. So I'm going to go ahead and my book journal, and I have a set of stickers here to date the month of September that we're going to go into, and then as well as some Moxie Life highlighters that I've been using for color coding the books that I've been reading. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, we're gonna go ahead and flip through so you can see what everything I have here in my journal. So first off is the actual title page, which I've added my name. And then this is the bookshelf of all the books that I have read. So we're gonna go ahead and update this. I'm also using a Sarasa Dry 0.5 from Zebra for the pen that I like to use on this paper. So let's go ahead and update these books. So let me grab my phone, wherever that is, and let's go ahead and get started with the books that I've read. So let's look at all of these books. So for the colors of the books that I've read, I am just going in rainbow order, and I am also including the grays of the Moxie Life. So I am going to quickly color these in. And so let's go ahead and play some music while I get these colored in. So I need 14 books for the 48 books that I've currently read. I am so close to my 50 book goal for the year, and it's only August, so that is very exciting. So we'll see what will be the 50th book that I've read. We'll have to celebrate once I get that book read. Maybe I'll need to buy a new book. Let me know what you think I should do for a reward for meeting my annual reading goal of 50 books. You have to give me some suggestions, some ideas. You know, what would you do when you accomplish your reading goal for the year? Also, would you change it, or would you just keep it and celebrate that you have met your goal? Let me know. I think I am just going to keep my goal and meet it and surpass it, and so it's no pressure, and it's very exciting to have read that many books. I'm so close to doing that, so we'll see what that 50th book will be. I'll have to keep you updated. In the comments, let me know if you have a reading goal for the year or not. That's totally fine too. Do you have any other goals that you are working towards or accomplishing? Share in the comments some of your goals or ideas of things you want to accomplish this year or in September. You know, either one. Do you have any things that you're working towards? I have several personal goals, and I actually am a part of a goal setting community, and so I really do love to celebrate when I accomplish one of my goals, which, you know, takes time and effort and all those things. And so I am really excited to accomplish one of my yearly goals, which feels so good. So I'm almost done. We'll see if this is 14 books yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 13, 14, 15, 16. Well, I did 16. That's okay. We'll have them colored in for when I complete the 50 books, which is kind of exciting. So now I'm going to go ahead and write in the books that I have read, starting with The Way Up is Death, and then A Torch Against the Night, and then Spark of the Everflame, and then All Systems Red, I love it when like the color kind of associates with the either book cover or the title of the book. That's always so fun. So the next one is The Bookstore Family. And then Bluebird. And then I like to go from bottom to top. So then the next one is a really long one. Secret Lives of Booksellers and Librarians. That's part of the title that I'm just going to fit on. The rest of it is True Stories of Magic of Reading. I really did enjoy that nonfiction book. It was very good. Next one is Dungeon Crawler Carl. And then Keeper of Enchanted Rooms. And then Lost Girls of Willowbrook. Didn't quite fit, but that's okay. And then I read the second book in the Murderbot series, Artificial Condition. And then Ash Garden. Hey, another one that fits the color of the cover. That's fun. And then Carl's Doomsday Scenario. And then the last one that I read so far is Hide. Oh my gosh, this cover is actually yellow, so that is absolutely perfect for it. That's too funny. All right, look at all these books that I've read. I need to color in the plant. Let's make it green, of course. But yeah, and so I've colored in enough books for 50 books. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. So the next two are ready to go to add the title when those are read. So yeah, do you keep a book journal? Where do you keep track of the books you've read? Clearly, I have it online electronically. I have recently switched at the beginning of the year to using Storygraph as the app for keeping track of my books, like my current status and what I'm currently reading. And then I did have Goodreads for several years before that, but I was just wanting something that it was easier to mark books as either DNF'd or something that I, keep tracking of audiobooks more clearly and easily. I'm gonna make the pot purple. I don't know why. That's what I'm gonna do. And so yeah, I am really loving Storygraph. I think it is so easy to use. I use the app on my phone and I am really enjoying it. It is so much more up to date for like the graphics. I love seeing all of the statistics for the end of the month for the books that I've read, and I love seeing those information. So yeah, and then I've been learning recently about the actual edition of the book. So if I've read it as an audiobook, to make sure that I select that it's an audiobook that I'm reading. And so yeah, I've been making sure that that's an audiobook that's selected. So yeah, so all right, there is the books that I have read so far overall. And so let's now move on to the next pages, which, as you can see, there's another full page for me to fill out the books that I read. And then I added in this monthly, what is my favorite book from that specific month. So let me find for the one that I'm interested in that was my most favorite for July and August. So let's look at my information to find the one I liked in July. All right, so I read 9 books total in July. You know, Dungeon Crawler Carl is definitely up there. So let's look at this. Yeah, Dungeon Crawler Carl is my favorite book for the month of July. So let me add that here. And I gave that book 5 stars. So, and then from there, I need to find the book for August that I liked the most. So for August, which is not quite over yet, but let's see if I have one for August. So far I read 5 books in August. And so I think I'm gonna wait. I think I might finish another book before the end of August. So I'm gonna wait before I add in my August one. So then for this one is the alphabet challenge. So I like to look to see if I have completed any books that have begin with the title and the alphabet. As you can see, I have a lot of the very common ones, and I'm really struggling with a lot of the other letters. So let's see if I've read anything that can count for that. In July so far, no. Let me look at August so far. Okay, I do have one for July. I have The Keeper of Enchanted Rooms, so I can fill out K. And if the title begins with like a the or an A or something like that, I just remove that and go to the next letter in the title of the book. Oh, and I can fill out another one for Bluebird. Yay, B. That's very exciting. And I am just doing this and seeing if they fit any of them. I'm not like specifically seeking out books with those titles. So, okay, so those are the alphabet titles. If you have any suggestions or thoughts on books that maybe will fit some of these requirements, let me know. Or how maybe if you do this challenge, you have any recommendations as well. These are anticipated books, and it looks like I've got all of those, which is so exciting. And then here are my actual goals that I set. I set 6 goals for reading at the beginning of the year. One is to read 50 books, which I'm so close to getting. I am currently reading the Throne of Glass series. I just started the Heir of Fire, which is the 3rd book in the series, but I've also read Assassin's Blade right before this one. So I really enjoyed that. I'm currently reading Heir of Fire, which I'm really liking. I am working through the Keeper of the Lost City series. I am currently on book 8, and I do also listen to that series from Audible, and I do really enjoy the cast for that. Keeping a book journal, so I'm trying to keep up with this goal, and then also keeping everything in Storygraph, so I have it in 2 places, which is working out really well for me. And then reading 10 nonfiction books. That is really interesting. I have started a goal of reading 10 pages of nonfiction per day. And so at the very beginning of the morning, and that has been going really well to help me with this goal a lot. So let me see if I can find the books that I have read that are nonfiction, how many books I've read so far from here. And let's see if we can find out that information. So I have currently read 5 nonfiction books. So I'm halfway to my goal of reading 10, which is very exciting. I am currently in the middle of my 6th nonfiction book, so could be on track. I think this goal is still very doable, I can accomplish this, and just keeping that a priority to read a little bit every day has really helped. And so I think that is very exciting. I have read The Secret Lives of Booksellers Librarians. I've read Gentle, Rest More, Stress Less, and Live the Life You Actually Want, Courtney Carver. And then I read The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. Loved that audiobook narration. I read The Third Gilmore by Kelly Bishop. She also narrated it. I did listen to that one. That was very good. And then The House of My Mother by Sherry Frankie. That was also very good and is also narrated by her. So I recommend those last 2 in audio forms. They were very good. So I am doing very well with my goals and keeping on track, which is amazing. So then as you can see, here's January. And then I have keeping track each month when I start and finish books, which has been kind of fun. And so here's kind of a flip through of some of those. And then I did do some ratings of the books. I haven't really liked that. I'm not a really big reviewer of books. And so I kind of have stopped that. And then again, here are the books that I read within this specific month. So for January, I read 5. And then the books that I've purchased, I listed here, and then from where I got those books. And then February, I started doing my pile of possibilities of maybe some books that I'm interested in reading for that specific month. I have really loved documenting that here in the beginning of the month. And as you can see, here is the month of February. I do add in these date stickers. They are undated, which is very cool, so I can use it whenever I want to. And then moving on here, I did some little bit of reviews, and then the actual books that I read for February, and then the books that I purchased. And then March pile possibilities. I do love how colorful this is. I love all of the color and theming, and I like adding in these specific themed stickers for the month. And then, so as you can see, I stopped doing reviews in March, but I did mark down all the books that I read and the books that I purchased. And then here are the pile of possibilities from April. And then the stickers of when I stopped and started and all of that for April. And then I'm moving on to the books that I read and then the books that I acquired. So many books, been purchasing so much, which has been fun. And then May's pile of possibilities. And then this is kind of where I didn't read a whole lot because I was busy with either finishing up work for this semester or went on my big trip for 2 weeks to London and Paris and Oxford. And so there was less reading in May for sure, but that's okay. All right, so let's see if I have more books that I read in the month of May. Nope, so those are the books that I read, and then the books first. Okay, so that is up to date. And then moving on to June's possibilities, and then the books that I read, started and stopped in June. And then moving on to the books that I read and the start of the summer reading challenge. This is part of Patreon for Krista Books and Jam, which is super exciting. I did read a yellow book, that book of The Secret Lives of Booksellers and Librarians, so I can fill in this specific book, which is very exciting. So let's color this in and update this. I am slowly getting into reading challenges. It's not anything I've ever done before, so it is new to me to participate and stay up to date and seeing if I like them. I am more of a mood reader, and so to have like a set list of books to read is something that's a challenge for me. And so yeah, so kind of finding that balance between books that are recommended to me and the ones that I want to read. And then also those are for book clubs. So I am trying to find a balance between all of that. And I think I've been doing a really good job with that. So yeah, which is very exciting. And then from here, I'm going to do that. And then I have Read with a Buddy. So let's do that one. What color should I do that? Let's do this turquoise color. And then we can fill in that one. Yeah, which is kind of fun. I have not reread a book or read a vacation book, so maybe I need to make that a priority soon. So those are the books that I read in June and the progress on this reading challenge. And then at the halfway point, this book journal has in here goals check-in, which I've read 33 books at the end of July. I read 3 books in the Throne of Glass series, and then again still on book 8 for The Keeper of Lost Cities. Continuing to update my book journal, continuing to make that a priority. And as you can see, I've read one more nonfiction book and enjoying Storycraft. And so yeah, top 3 books so far: Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, Sunrise on the Reaping, and Haunting of Bookwood. So those are all the books and updates from my mid-year check-in. And then so here was July's pile of possibilities. And then I kind of stopped here in updating the progress that I made in July. So let me pull up some of that information so I can fill it in. So I finished The Keeper of Enchanted Rooms on the 26th. So I'm gonna add that, finished. Then let's see, and I started it on the 17th. So started. And then the next one, Dungeon Crawler Carl, I started on the 18th, the next day. If you have a book journal or a month view, do you fill in when you started and stopped reading books? Or have you thought about it? Do you like this idea? Or do you have any more recommendations for how I can use the monthly view? Let me know. I'm absolutely open to suggestions, since this is the first book that I have, book journal, that I've actually started and used. So then the next one, The Secret Lives of Booksellers and Librarians. I started it in June though, but I finished it on the 23rd of July. So if I already have something in that one, I'll either go for the day before or the day after. It's not a big deal. It's just close is totally fine with me, but I just like to keep a record. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate because it's the most accurate in my Storygraph app. Alright, so then the next one, Bluebird. That was the book club book for Krista's Books and Jam on Patreon. So I started that on the 4th of July, which I did, and then I finished it on the 16th. Okay. And then the Bookstore Family I listened to within one day. So I started on the 14th, and then I finished it on the 15th. And then All Systems Red, I started it, listening to it on the 11th. And I finished it on the 14th, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on the 13th. Spark of the Everflame. I started it back in May, but didn't get my hold back for that until July. So I finished it on July 10th. So I got halfway through the book, and then Libby was like, nope, your hold's done. I hate when that happens. And then so I had to wait, and for I don't even know how many weeks that was, but a lot. I'm glad to see it's popular though. I did really enjoy it. I want to continue listening to the series. I did meet the author at a book signing in Orlando, which is very cool. I went there just to see and meet them. I was on vacation and went to a bookstore, and she was there, and so I decided to buy her book and support her. So I have a signed copy of The Spark of the Everflame, which is very cool. So then I also have A Torch Against the Night, which I started on the 9th. So yeah, it's like the first author I've met. I have not met any other authors. So I think it'd be kind of cool to meet some other ones at some point if it works out. But yeah, we'll see what I'm up to. But that's kind of why I've read so many books in the month of July, because I was, oh, that's when I finished it. I started it back at the end of June. So let's do finished. Oh well, so finished, which is fine. Okay, and then the last one was I started The Way Up Is Death in June, but I finished it on the 3rd. So I'm gonna do last one of Way Up Is Death. Okay. So yeah, so that is everything from July. Let me know if you use the monthly view differently, or if you have any suggestions on how I can better utilize it. And then again, not doing any reviews, but these are the books that I acquired. Some of them, I acquired way too many books in July. I think there's like 15 of them, which is absolutely crazy, but a lot of fun. So yeah, let me go ahead and fill in the books that I read for the month of July. that is the month of July wrapped up, and then going into August, pile of possibilities. I will add that in later. I'm gonna go back and look at what I had recommended in my last video, and then setting up the monthly calendar for August. I am going to use these black number stickers. So I'm going to go ahead and date them for the month of August. So August started on the, I think it was Friday, yep. So then I just add them here. So here, let me speed this up and add in the numbers. Perfect fit. Yay, exciting. Okay, so that book is done. So then from here, we can start filling in the books that I have read for August, which is a few books so far. I think there are, 5 books that I have read. So The Lost Girls of Willowbrook, and then our official condition, and my next vlog will be a reading update check-in from the month of August, so stay tuned if you're excited to see how I rate some of these books, which one was my favorite, and you have to let me know if I should continue to share updating my book journal, if you like to see this content or not. Let me know in the comments below. I am glad that I'm getting this updated, the fattest book for like the shortest title, which is kind of funny. So yeah, so those are the 5 books that I've read in the month of August, and then I'm gonna keep you in suspense and for how many books I have purchased in the month of August. So hopefully this was fun to see me updating my book journal, and hopefully let me know if you want to see more of this content in the future. Thank you.